Hi guys, this year I'm taking in the 2-game FM Premier League, so each week I'm going to be bringing you the updates that I've got as my matches go on. We'll have a look this evening which team I get, which team I've ended up with, I already know, and have a look at the signings I've made. Next time we'll look at some of the tactics and stuff. What I'm going to do first, go through the rules, have a look at which team I got, have a look at some of the transfers I made, and talk about where we're going to go each week. So the FM21 competition is going to be a head-to-head competition. There's 20 managers. Actually, there's 20. No, where can't I count? 44 managers. 20 Premier League managers and 24 Championship managers. Plus, there's an opportunity for you to get involved. Keep an eye on the 2-game FM Premier Twitter, link down below. Then there's an opportunity for you to take over one of the cup teams, either for the Carabao Cup or for the League Cup. And what we're going to do is we're going to get one of the Premier League teams, and we're going to see how far each week. We're going to have a head-to-head match. I'm going to see how far we can get. Hopefully we can stay in the league, because you'll see when I reveal which team I've got, it's not going to be easy for me this season. The way it's going to work is each week, or every 10 days, there's going to be a head-to-head match between myself and another manager. We play home, we play away, that's it. So over the season I'll play 19 different managers. Each of them I'll play twice, but within the same 10-day period, within the same session. So let's say I end up facing Arsenal. I'll play the home game and the away game against Arsenal. Any suspensions and injuries only count from the first leg to that second leg. They don't carry over between the different games. Before the season starts, we've got a 2-week pre-season. This is where our team is chosen. This is where we get to do a number of transfers. We can make 5 transfers and 1 free transfer. So we have a transfer budget that's predetermined. I'm going to put the transfer budgets on the screen now, just so you can have a look. See what kind of transfer budget the different teams were given. It was based on what is in FM21 at the start of the game. And that's how much you've got to spend. Any player sales you make, you can only sell to other human players. Any player sales you make, you can use that money then. There's going to be a second transfer window after game week 9. So we have a bit more of an opportunity to make some more purchases. But I don't know if we're going to have any budget unless, suddenly some of the championship teams start picking up some of my players. So what's going to happen is, the team's going to be crafted for me. I've got to submit a 25-man squad. So anyone beyond that 25-man squad, that's what we're going to do today. Is we're going to cut. I've got 35-man squad, so I'm going to have to cut 10 people from the squad. It might be some of the people I signed, which could be an error. Okay, before we start, I'm going to send you over to Cookie, as he's going to do the reveal. Now, I was fingers crossed that I didn't get Southampton. So I was very lucky. You'll see in a moment who came out first in the score.
First one out. I was going to say first one out of the hat, but it's a bag, so first one out of the old bag. It is Dodgy Gamer. Southampton. Dodgy Gamer with the Saints.
Now, as things started to go on, we were getting more and more hopeful that we were going to get one of the big teams. None of the big teams are coming out. A lot of the small teams are going. And then
let's get the Fulham or the West Brom. Oh my word. It's Liverpool. Chasing lamely is Arsenal. Manchester United.
Bam, bam, bam. 5 or 6 big teams came out at once. Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool. They were all gone. And then we were looking down the barrel of Aston Villa, West Ham or Fulham. And as it turns out, I'll leave it to Cookie to show you who got the final pick with the final team.
McBearded, West Ham. Not sure whether that's better than Burnley, to be honest. Yeah, really not sure about that. Simaggio. Final one. This should be Fulham then, shouldn't it? If it's wrong, we'll have to do the draw again. That's Fulham.
Alright, so here we are at Fulham. And you can see, even after I've made my transfers, media prediction 20th. Now, we looked at quite a few people on the transfer market you're only allowed to make one free transfer, so that was something we had to bear in mind. So we had 22.5 million to spend. Don't go spend that all at once with the opportunity that Fulham get. There was a stipulation that you could only get players, if I come over to the transfer screen here, and they had to at least be slightly interested in a transfer for them to come join. That was the rule. They had to be slightly interested in transfer, and that's also for the loan players. So we were allowed 5 regular transfers or loans and 1 free transfer. So we have lined up. Actually, Buendia looks like a good choice now. I don't know why I didn't try and. I guess because he's a Norwich, we would have had to pay Norwich for him. Norwich? Yeah, Norwich would have had to have. Oh, we can't afford. He's 25 million. He's been well out of our budget. Like some of the Championship teams have probably got better players than us. So what I did, I came across the Fulham's team and started to have a look at what positions I might need. Actually, this should be after my transfers have been made. So this overview probably includes. You can see it includes 1 new player, Renato Augusto. So I looked at the depth. The Fulham squad's not bad, but there's gonna be a couple of areas that I'm gonna have to improve. Mitrovic is decent. At least don't have to worry about a long-term injury necessarily. Goalkeeper, we've got Areola, which is a decent player. There are so many players who can play left back. Like I've got just unlimited options. None of them are particularly great. Joe Bryan's alright. He could be good in the future. He'll do a decent job there. So we've got a variety of players. I haven't quite decided yet. We're going to decide this. We'll do some testing before we go into the first game, what tactic we're going to use. So I just wanted to get a full picture of what was available to me. I mean, I'm probably looking at using 1 striker unless I use Ruben Loftus-Cheek, some kind of deep lying striker role or something like that. Deep lying playmaker up top. So we did a bit of dealing on the transfer market and I managed to bring in 6 players. 1 on loan, 1 free transfer, 4 paid for. Now, I don't know if all of these players are going to make my squad. The first transfer we went for is probably almost certainly going to make our squad. Nicolas de la Cruz, he's coming from River Plate. We're probably going to use him out on the left. The second transfer, coming in on the right-hand side. Duvan Vergara, again, we're going to use him. Very cheap he was. I think he was somewhere in Nicolas de la Cruz was about 2.6 and Duvan Vergara was. I'll put the amounts on screen in a second. Duvan Vergara was about 550k. Very, very cheap. If you're looking for someone in regular Foot Manager, this is a very cheap, great option. We had to go by their real world values, even if we were buying from another human. After that, we went for another very cheap option. In fact, his value here is far higher than what I paid for him. I'll put how much I paid for him on screen now. It's Kenneth Amareu. Decent right back / centre back option that I can use. After Amaru, we went for our big signing. We had quite a bit of budget left. We went after Renato Augusto. This guy's I don't often use an attack midfielder, but this year might be a little bit different for this FM Premier. But he can also play on the right or in the centre midfield. We've got a few options for this. I was really looking for a playmaker, and he looks like with this passing and with this vision stat, he's going to do a job. Good all-round physical stats. Decent technique, decent first touch. I think he's going to be a solid pick to use in a playmaker position. Coming in from China. So that left us with 2 transfers left. One had to be the free one. I also had no budget left, or I had about 25k left. So we went for 1 loan and 1 free transfer. Free transfer we went and grabbed was Daryl Yanmat. Now, I don't know if Daryl Yanmat's going to make the final, but he has fairly decent attributes. He'll do a good job at the right back. If I probably compare him with the other right backs in the squad, you can see there I've got 4 right backs, all of them capable of 3-star. So I'm going to have to look in a second and decide which ones of these. Olaena, Kenny Tete, Amareo probably will keep because we've signed him as well and he can play in that centre back role. Or if Daryl Yanmat makes the team at all, it might be an option that we can sell him on in January to one of the Championship. Fingers crossed. This could be a small investment. We did a little bit of dealing in the loans. It was a bit tricky to find someone who wanted to come to the club. We were looking at Wolves and we were tempted by Seiss, but Seiss didn't want to come. But instead, Ryan Ait-Nouri wanted to come. Now, he's young, so his attributes haven't quite developed there yet. Fingers crossed this is one that in January time they update the attributes and get a bit of a better player after the January update. Maybe one for the future, but solid signing nonetheless. We've only got him on loan, but it doesn't make a difference for the purposes of this year. It means we get him for the year. We'll still own him in theory, but here in my squad, they can't recall him. He's not cup tied. I can use what I like. So that's all the signings. Now I've got to make the cuts to the team. I've got to decide who we want and who we don't want. I'm going to come over to the team report and have a look. Squad depth. I mean, I'm going to have to start thinking about what tactic I'm probably going to use. But I would imagine I'm going to use most of these positions. So we're likely to keep them all. Okay, so I've got a squad of 25. So what I can do is I can come to registration. I can do it because this is 25 as well. So I have to remember that if I quick pick it here, it'll account for the under 20. It won't account for the under 21s, which is something I will need to include. I think actually Ryan Aitnouri is the only one. So all we have to do really, because it's just head to head, injuries and suspensions don't run over. First things first, let's start at the back. Let's drop one of these two goalkeepers, free up a space. There's 35 players here, which means 10 players aren't going to make the cut. So the first thing to do, I think, Fabrizio and Rodak. See, one of these two we want. And it's pretty close between the two. Let's go to the attribute screen. I think that aerial reach of Rodak is probably inching it. If I was using a sweeper keeper, maybe Fabrizio. And he's got flair. You don't need a flair in a goalkeeper, though, I don't think, do you? Punching tendency is quite high here, which isn't great. And the first touch is slightly better one. But I think we look down these attributes. Yeah, he's quicker, he's got more stamina, but better agility. We're gonna keep Rodak. So Fabrizio doesn't make the cut. So Fabrizio. Okay, so that puts us at 24. Right. Let's clear it. I should start from the start, right? So we want Areola in, Rodak in, filter, right. I hope, just in case anyone's wondering, I've already looked at the under 23s and under 18s. There's no one in there that I think we're going to take. At least at this stage. Maybe at January we can reassess it. Okay, so we're going to want some defenders. Let's start with some left-sided defenders. So Adoy is fairly versatile. He might be a useful player. So let's bear that in mind. Even if he can play all three positions, even if he's not the best in all. Also fairly versatile. These two, Tim Ream and Maxime Marchand. Again, centre back and left back. Now I'm probably going to want fairly quick wing backs, or at least full backs. So I'm going to have a look, see if we can get something. There's speed. See if this will help. Right, Anthony Robinson. Actually, he's the lowest rated elsewhere though. Now, that's a good point. Where is Ports? Yeah, as you can see, Anthony Robinson is the lowest rated ability team there. He could be another one we come back to in January, but for example, if I compare him to, let's compare him to Ryan Aitnouri. See, Ryan Aitnouri beats him in nearly every attribute except for some of the physical attributes. So Robinson's out. Still leaves us quite a lot of options. Okay. Ola Aina might be useful, I think, because of his versatility in a number of positions, including the left wing. So he's in. Tim Ream. Let's see how Tim Ream lines up in centre defence. Okay. I think left back might be the most difficult position, so what we will do, we're going to have a look at the centre backs and the right backs, see if we can get those sorted, because that might help us. do the rights. Right, so we've got Olai now on there already. Again, we got a whole load of players. Dennis Adoy also fairly versatile. He can come in. Kenny Tete is the best one there, I think. So we'll get Kenny Tete in. Omareo is one of the signings we bought in, and I liked his physical attributes. He's in. Yanmat will come back to. I know we've signed him. We'll come back to him. He was free, so we're not worried. Right, let's look at the kind of central. All right. So Tosin Adarabayo, if I pronounced that right, he's in. Now, from here, we have quite a lot of choices. We might have to do some comparisons here. Michael Hector. He's good in the air. He's going to be a useful, no-nonsense centre-back. Let's see how he does as a stopper. Okay, cover. He hasn't got loads of speed. Have I got a cover? Can Adarbayo, he can do that. He can play the ball-playing cover role, I think, fairly well, yes. Well, if I just need a stopper, so someone like Michael Hector could do that job. Ongolo, perhaps. Pair him with Hector. If we get a choice. I think that edges towards Hector. Ongolo can cross, but, you know, how often are centre-backs crossing? That's not something I'm asking centre-backs to do very often. Some of these other ones are a little bit, you know, long throws. Not worried about that. Work rate is better, which is decent. He's a bit quicker. Who else do we have on here? Maxime Lamarchand. He, of course, was also the left-back position, which is something to bear in mind. Compare him with I mean, the mental attributes Lamarchand is edging those. This vision does worry me on Congolo as I normally use ball playing. But I think the marking and tackling is the same. Physical attributes are in his favour, apart from stamina and strength, but only slightly out of his favour. These are pretty close. I don't know how much those men. Is it bravery, concentration? Only a slightly amount. Vision is the biggest difference, other than bravery. Okay. We'll leave those for now. We'll see how we get on because we might have some spaces left. Let's go. Let's go to the front because the front is going to be It's very easy. One striker really, which is Mitrovic. Abubakar Kamara probably isn't going to make the cut. He's quick, which could be useful. If we've got a bit of space later on, but you can see his current ability isn't great. Some of his positioning isn't great. Vision isn't great. Composure, concentration, not great. Finishing isn't great. I think he misses the cut here. Just the one for up top. The rest of these you can see are probably left mid or centre mid. So we can now come back. So we're looking for the attacking mid left now. Loftus-Cheek is probably the best player at the club. He's definitely in. And Renato Augusto we signed, and De La Cruz and Vergara. This is our front advanced three midfielders. If we use one up top, we're going to be using these three most likely. Beyond that, we've got quite a few options. Lookman, quick, play on the right. He can also play up top. His finishing isn't bad. It's better than Kamara, so I think Lookman gets in. Decordova-Reeve, again, also can play up top. Again, better than Kamara. In. I think these guys, so Cabano, I don't think makes the cut. I don't think he's got enough. No, he's not quick enough. His crossing isn't good enough. Positioning isn't good enough for what. Not much strength, not much balance. So Cabano doesn't make the Onoma equally. You know, he's playing in the centre. He can play out wide, but I don't think even in the central position. He has decent physical attributes, but across the field, I think there's a few areas in which he's a bit average, right? And the same with Stefan Johansson. Decent vision. Physical attributes are a little bit average or less than average. It's a good physical fitness, but we don't need fitness in this because of the way it works. So these 2, 3 are out. Kamara is out. So it's from here on up is where we're looking. So Cavaliero and Tom Kearney. Tom Kearney, decent vision, decent passing. I know that Stefan Johansson was good in these areas, but Stefan Johansson's physical stats let him down. So this is where we have Tom Kearney in. Cavaliero, again, on the right or on the left, so he's fairly versatile. Okay, he's only 2.5 star on the right, but he's going to give us some options. Quick, cross, dribble, first touch, technique, passing. Flair is good, determination is good. Cavaliero's in, right. So he's probably going to be back up to Vergara or De La Cruz. A decent option. So we're up to 16. We've got the front sorted, we've got goalkeeper sorted. Okay, so centre mids. Mario Lemina, he doesn't play quite so far forward. We can use him as centre mid and a defensive mid. Almost certainly he's in. He's got good attributes, good enough across the field that so Lemina is in. And the same with Andre Frank, Sambo, and Guisa. The passing isn't great here, but I'm happy with the tackling and the marking that he's going to play an anchor role. Need that kind of player. So he is also in. And the final one there, another box to box, Harrison Reed. I think he again makes the team. The one we haven't covered here, well, actually there's two. Kevin Mcdonald. I don't think as a defensive midfielder he needs better marking. Maybe a bit quicker, hope, and a bit better at heading, perhaps. I don't know. Fitness is great, but we don't need the fitness in this competition. So I think Kevin Mcdonald doesn't make the cut. He was on our transfer list to sell. Someone wanted to buy him, and then they didn't buy him. So one of the championship teams left us in the lurch there, but that doesn't matter. And the other one is Jean-Michel Celi again. Very good passing and vision. He would make a great playmaker if we needed that, but I think some of the overall attributes, positioning perhaps, tackling, marking of two, he's just not going to contribute to us defensively when we're going to be under the defensive pressure a lot. If we were in the championship competition this year, it would be a different case, but we're not. We're in the Premiership competition, so he's not going to cut the mustard. So that leaves us with six more positions to fill. So we've got to decide where these will go. So I think Tim Ream gets in, and so does Maxime Lemarchand because of their versatility. Joe Bryan gets in, decent on the left, good all-round attributes, and he can play further upfield if we really need him to. And then got to make a choice. Orion Nori, Daryl Yanmat, Joachim Anderson. We use Joachim Anderson, ball playing defender. I think let's compare him with Michael Hector. See which of these. Pretty close. I mean, we've got this might be where I start to think about some things like set pieces, long throws. Those physical attributes are much better in Hector's favour. But those mental attributes are much better in Anderson's favour. This seems to be the way. Either you're a physical beast or you're some kind of mental genius. On average, I think. I mean, you can see here. Look, like Anderson edges out Hector on the mental attributes by 1. On the physical attributes, Hector outdoes Anderson. Now let's have a look. So we got passing. I think Anderson makes it in based on the passing. We want ball playing defenders, so we're going to go with here. He gets in. We've got 2 spaces left. We've got our 2 purchases. We've got Congolo as well. Let's quickly compare Congolo just in case with. Again, he's much better at the long throws. No, I think here pretty even, but I think Anderson edges it. Daryl Yanmat. If I use him as a wing back, let's compare him with, let's see, Dennis Adoy and Daryl Yanmat. Okay, across the technical attributes, they're about the same. Dennis Adoy can take corners, but not that well, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. I think the ones that are more important, finish a bit better, free kick a bit better, we don't need to worry about those. But heading is important. Long throws we don't need to worry about. Tackling is important. I think Yanmat takes the technical. Mental. Positioning is better for Denis Odoi. Other than that, it's pretty even. And on the physical, looks like, again, it's pretty even. There's a little bit better jumping reach for Odoi, but he can't header the ball as well. What's the height, actually? Yanmat's also a bit taller, and they're playing as wing-backs, so it's not really going to be... The jumping reach isn't going to be the most important. Fitness is good. He's a bit quicker, Denis Odoi. But stamina and strength is in Yanmat's favour, so I think we're going to get Yanmat in. Option. And then on the other side, Ryan Aït-Nouri. Want to see he can compare with. Let's see who left. Joe Bryan. Joe Bryan is probably going to edge this. Heading, long shots, much. But these aren't important things, so let's have a look at the important ones. Crossing and dribbling. Aït-Nouri edges crossing. Marking, they're the same. Tackling, they're the same. Actually, no, it's edged by Nouri. These are all pretty simple. Leadership, we don't need to worry about leadership. Work rate is in Joe Bryan's favour. And on these physical attributes from Ryan Aït-Nouri. So we're going to get Ryan Aït-Nouri in. That, I think, is that. 25. Right. Let's double check these boxes. Everyone back in the team. See who we've left out. Make sure we've not left out any. Okay, they're the under 21s down there. Got 25. We've left out. We need to leave out 10, I thought. We've only got 6 there. Why have we only got 6? Oh, Kevin McDonald's down here. For some reason. Onoma's here as well. So did show the under 21s. Oh, because I ticked it when I went through this. That's better. Right, these are the ones that we left out. So Kamara, Fabrizio, Robinson, Varno, Hector, Celi, Stefan Johansson, Congolo, Onuma, Kevin McDonald. I'm very sorry. You're going to have to pick your game up. Maybe we'll bring you in January. If there's an area that looks like I've missed or I'm lacking. But these guys might have probably been on the transfer list. Most of these have been on the transfer list. Might be going back on there. So the squad. The squad is going to be Areola and Rodak. Goal. Defense. We have Tim Ream. We have Aït-Nouri, Hete, Lamarchand, Adebayo, Joe Bryan, Anderson, Omoreu, Odoi, and Yanmat. Defensive midfield, we have Andre, Frank, Zambo, and Guisa. And we also have Harrison Reed, who can play in that role. In midfield, we have Lamina. You can do defensive midfield as well. We have De La Cruz out on the wing. We have Vergara out on the wing. We have Cavaliero out on the wing. Andre Lookman, who can play out on the wing. We have Ola Aina, who can do defense and on the wing, in fact. I missed. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who's going to play an instrumental position throughout the pitch. He's probably going to be our most creative player. We've got De Cordova Reed on the left. We've got Tom Kearney in the centre. And we've also got Renato Augusto, going to be probably competing with Tom Kearney, or at least maybe they'll work together. I haven't decided yet for those central positions. And up top, we have one man, Alexander Mitrovic. So a lot of our hopes are pinned on Alexander Mitrovic. We're going to see how that goes. But that is the 25-man squad. I'll flash it up on the screen now in the graphic that I produced for the team. We'll be back. Please go give the 2-game FM Premier League account a follow on Twitter. Please give me a follow on Twitter. I'm going to be putting these on YouTube, but I also do regular Twitch streams. You can find me at twitch.tv/Simaggio. You can follow me on Twitter at SiMaggioFM. If you want to know more, or you want to know about taking part in the 2-game Premier League, or the two-game Premier League and Championship Cups, so the Cups, the League Cup and the FA Cup that are coming up, go look on the WordPress and keep an eye on the Twitter accounts, as there'll be opportunities for you to get involved. And there's going to be stuff from the other creators involved in the competition that is going to be pushed out through those channels. So if you want to see how Arsenal is doing, or how Chelsea is doing, or how West Ham is doing or how Brentford is doing. You can go look at what their respective managers are doing on their YouTube or Twitch, or they're going to have a variety of different ways. Some of them are going to be blogging. So it's going to be interesting to follow and see how we get along with this. Hopefully it will be successful for us. I think I'm going to be aiming for, the media prediction for this team is bad, down in 20th. But I'm thinking I could probably crack somewhere above 13th if I get this right. I'm going to have to play around with some tactics. We're going to come back with that next time. Our first match, I think, is Arsenal. So I'll put the fixtures on the screen in a minute. If you're not even subscribed, please give us a subscribe, and then you'll catch me every time I push out one of these videos. I'm also going to do some other new video series. I've only just started at this. Any suggestions are welcome in the comments. Let me know. How do you think I'm going to do? Have I made good signings? Have I spent my money well? Who should I have signed? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you very much, guys.